Hi everybody, it's Mike from Hear the Watchman. We are here in Grapevine, Texas at the Hear the Watchman Remnant Warrior Conference. And it's just off the hook, crazy great, winner chicken dinner, amazing event happening here. Today, all the way from that side of the pond is Mr. Mark Sutherland. Mark, good to see you again.
Good to see you.
Amazing. We haven't been able to do a show for quite some time. But today we're going to talk a little bit about what's going on. What's your feeling about being here at the conference?
I'm amongst friends, my brother. I'm amongst family. I am able to fly 5,000 miles and feel as though I can breathe properly.
People are asking me, Mike, what was it like when you went through the airport? The reality is I saw two people with masks on. Now you came all the way from London to here. What was it like?
It's fine. I mean, there was one or two people with masks getting on the plane, whatever, but I've flown nearly 5,000 miles. It's fine. I arrive in Dallas, Texas, and I'm asked at the immigration once I've gone through the computer screens and had my iris photo taken and put 4 fingers on the machine. That's how bad it is. And then I'm asked, have you been to China lately? I've never been. Have you been to Iran? I have never been. I'm not intending to go presently. But I'm asked those intelligent questions. Other places in the world there may not be, and other places in the world maybe need to stop certain flights coming in. So, and then we have to conclude, having done this morning a show with Coach Dave, and there we are, CNN in front of us going, 28 people have died. But there are 63 million abortions in America.
Yep.
Am I making my particular point? So, not wanting to buy into the hysteria, and it's awful when people die and all this, flu. I flew over here, but it's the flu that is actually happening. Yeah. So that is what was happening. There was nothing my end, maybe they were just glad to get me out of the country. But no, it's fine.
Well, we look at this, Mark, and obviously here at the conference, some people
they decided not to come.
They decided not to come,
okay,
and we'll just leave it at that. But
right.
And folks, listen, you can still take a part of this, be a part of this conference. Go to hearthewatchman.com, sign up for the on-demand streaming of it. You have it for 3 months, so you can watch it over and over again, and you have plenty of time to see everything that's packed in there. Now, not only do you get this conference, you get the past 2 Hear the Watchman conferences as well, all for $39 for 3 months. All you have to do is enter the promotional code Mike20. You'll save 20% off of that. So you can still be a part of it. But Mark, what I wanted to talk to you about is, this conference is all about unity and hope. Where do you see the hope? Where do you find the hope right now?
So I've flown 5,000 miles, as you know. I've often said this. I came here in 2017 to confirm the fact that I wasn't going around the bend, literally. We joke about it, but it was serious, where your mental health, and you are watching a number of the people that are speaking who are now personal friends of mine, and like yourself. So that gives you hope, where you cross a Rubicon for this is a hobby and this is an exclusive thing, to then realizing this is real. So the hope is, so this morning when I get up and I have the privilege to walk into the reception of this hotel, and Kevin Shipp is sitting there on his own. So me being me, go up to him and say, hello Kevin, Mark Sutherland, and then I have a conversation with him. What is the hope? The hope is that incredible people like that are risking their lives. And the comment would be is, please pray for people like Kevin and remember him in your prayers, because that is vitally important. The hope is that people are not backing down. They are not backing down. And actually, and as Coach Dave was saying this morning, and I'm sure he said it in an interview with you as well, is that when you then are able to reduce target profits by millions and millions of dollars, by the fact that you go up to Chappaqua to make a particular point, by the fact that you decide to say vocally, we need to sue the NFL, and then you end up being on the Colbert Show and all the rest. You are causing massive ripples, which we are called to do. So where is the hope? The hope is that these people are inspiring us to get off our lazy backsides individually where we are. But we're not superstars. We're extremely ordinary people with many faults, as gets pointed out on a regular occasion. And the fact is...
Do tell. No, don't
no,
tell.
No, I'm not going to tell. But the fact is that we, we do need to stick together. We are appalling at shooting our own. And when we are terrible at that. So where is the hope? The hope is that you come together and you actually realise there is a family. You then want to facilitate actually literally saying to people, as Coach Dave did this morning, to say, look, you are able to do this. We have to get the truth out there. This is not a hobby. And I'm going to say that this T-shirt is mine. The Matrix is not a hobby. It is my life, and I live in it. So we cross this, Mike. The hope is that I believe that a number of people across the world are waking up. They really are. The sad thing is that isn't necessarily within the church.
Oh, amen to that. Mark, it's evident.
Yeah.
It's evident out there that is what's going on.
Yeah.
And if you look at what takes place when we gather together, the power of what happens here. And folks, okay, this is what I get tired of hearing. People will meet me and they'll say, you've been saved, and what's it like now to live a life where it's just even all the time and bad things don't happen to you? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, because stuff happens,
and that certainly isn't the paradigm that I live in. And I think the other thing is that there's a lie that has been sold to the evangelifish church, to coin someone else's phrase, which is that stuff will stop happening. No, stuff is ramping up. Things are getting worse. The attacks at times are getting worse. This is tough. Everyone thought, you come to Jesus and everything will be okay, and it's going to be fine, and it's all going to be, unicorns and yum-yums. But it's not. It's not. We are at war. Ephesians 6 says we are battling against principalities, and that's it. We are at war. We are called to find our armor, to find our weapons, and to find our stallions, and we are called to ride into the battle. We are called not to shirk away. Our battle is, we have more of an issue with the church. And as God says, judgment starts in the house of God. Mm-hmm. Our problem is with the church.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I couldn't agree with you more, Mark. And we talked this morning, Michael Lake, we did a show, Michael Lake and I, Dr. Michael Lake, we did a show not too long ago where we talked about hope, and he has a wonderful thing that he says. Hope is not a force. Hope is a way of life. It's a lifestyle.
That's incredible.
And that is the thing. You can't pick and choose, like, okay, I'll have hope in this situation, but there's no hope in this situation. Just like it says in the 23rd Psalm, I shall fear no evil. It doesn't say, I shall fear, my wife. I shall fear. It doesn't say that. It's very clear. I shall fear no evil. And the thing is, with the hope, it's not okay, people, to pick and choose. I mean, you if you trust in God, you're covered in the blood. Okay, what are you worried about? And to me, you know what? If I get the flu here and keel over on the floor, right on, man. I'm ready. I'm ready. I've had enough of this world. I'm ready. To go be with the Father and to be there and to just, I'm ready for that. but you know, you have to get ready, is the thing. So are you seeing as much of a panic in, let's say, London as you see here over this?
Well, there was some article saying, you know, maybe about people going into supermarkets and all that. There are people, you know, hand sanitizers are pretty low in my local supermarket. Yeah. I found out the other day. Whatever the rights of what is wrong, right or wrong in regard to this pandemic, we know in regard to how this is affecting the economy. This is really fascinating. If you decide to take one country and put 20% or 25, 30% of the world's manufacturing in one place because you wish to have cheap goods, then what do you then expect? This is this whole thing of nationalism v globalism. Some of the things that have been said on the television at home have been at times ridiculous. The hysteria. I am not underplaying some of the things that we have seen from China. I'm not underplaying that at all. I'm not underplaying the fact that, you know, Wuhan, 5G, all these things, this is real. We're not underplaying the fact that they are a technocracy society, which is what they wish to then push around the whole of the world. I'm not underplaying that at all. I'm not underplaying the fact that the reason why then we voted out of the EU is because, you know, 17,410,752 people said.
You still have that
I
number.
still have that figure.
Yeah.
That number is we want to run our own country, right? All of these things, and as it's been illustrated, is really interesting because borders, if you have tight border control and you are worried about pandemics crossing from one border to another, hear me, I'm not a doctor, you are then have control of people movements. You can control flights and all this kind of thing. And what's happening in Europe is that as they wanted to create the federal superstate, we've gone, we have left. We left on the 31st of January. We have to negotiate a trade deal by December. You see the difficulties of this, right?
Absolutely.
But I think, you know, on Good Morning TV with, you know, Piers Morgan, I'm confused about gun control, but he is getting better. I'm a bit confused about climate change, I have to say. There are these discussions, and the discussions at times seem a little bit ridiculous because basically washing your hands and stuff like that properly should be a natural thing to do. When our Prime Minister gave a press conference and basically sang, you know, he sang like a happy birthday to you, sing that twice and that will be the amount of time that you would have to wash your hands under a sink. Now, I don't know about you, but why are we having to even tell the populace that is a good thing that they do after they've been to the toilet, or the John in this case over here, translating. I find it a little bit, and I'm not playing any of this down, but it does get a little bit ridiculous. However, what it has shown us, again, is this whole push for, you know, the globalization, whether you're going to have an event in 2001 in New York, just in case you have a pandemic, whether you have the fact that we're going to push vaccines and we see, you know, Bill and Melinda Gates and all this, and we give a TED talk and we're, oh, this is a wonderful way to depopulise the earth. These are reality. When we see the fact that we've had a lecturer in Cambridge, back home, who's into the occult and one or two other stupid things, turns around and goes, I think she was a lecturer, turns around and goes, well, the way to solve this and to climate change is we need to get rid of humanity. Have we heard that one before? So undercurrent of this, Mike, are some really, really important issues that, as other people here will lay out, as LA is laying out, really important issues that we need to look at in regard to technocracy, in regard to a one world government, in regard to control, and the technical technocracy controlling us, free speech, what we say, all of this kind of thing. It is bordering on getting out of hand. I'll give you a comment, slightly different. But when we have a Labour MP at home say that when a child is born, its sex is not defined at birth, I have to wonder what kind of planet these people are, frankly, and I'm trying not to swear because it's a children's program, is actually living on. This is utterly, utterly ridiculous. So let's throw in another thing, and and Coach was talking about this. We see the battle that we are in. So Darwin, we go back to Darwinism. Charles Darwin had a sidekick called Henry Huxley, and Henry Huxley was his bulldog of pushing his ideas through society. What is fascinating is that Henry Huxley's grandchild was Aldous Huxley, who wrote The Brave New World. All I'm saying, without pinching ideas from other people, of a dear friend, we are called to connect the dots, to connect the dots, to connect the dots, to connect the dots, to look at the signs of the times, go through history. And as I've already said today, you know, the reason why a load of this is happening, the reason why there are this, you know, asymmetric attack against your nation,
right,
is because the piece of paper that was created in September, I believe, 1787, which is your constitution, is the piece of paper that stands in the way of totalitarianism across the world. And that is what we're doing. So where's the hope, Mike? Coming back to that, and I'll take a breath. The hope is this, is that we are finding that people in Australia are waking up. We're finding that people in Canada are more waking up. We're finding people in America are waking up. We're finding people in the UK and other parts of Europe are waking up. The hope is in the awakening up, and that the hope is that we all need to join together instead of shooting at each other at times, and encourage each other. That's what we need to do. That's the hope.
Amen. Amen. Mark, I can't tell you what a pleasure it's been to do a show together again. And folks, I'm gonna twist his arm, see if I can get him to come back again tomorrow, and we'll do a show where we rant a bit about censorship and things like that, and we'll really kind of dive into
and the royal family.
Yes, and the royal family. We can't leave them out.
We can't.
Right?
I wish to, but
and
we
we
can't.
could talk about Pelosi, and we could talk about AOC, and we could talk about Omar. We can do it. We'll have some fun.
We're ran.
So we have to wrap this, folks, because I have to get back down and send the people off to their lunch break today, and we'll be back at 2 o'clock with Paul McGuire, who's going to just tear it up. I guarantee you he's going to tear it up. So till we see you next time here on the Watchman's Report, God bless each and every one of you. Have a blessed day. See you next time.